Good afternoon. This is Garrett Godwin. We're inside Ford Field for the 2010 Detroit Lions Kickoff Luncheon, and right behind me is a video as we're looking back at what the Lions accomplished over the last season, and what the players and coaches are going to talk about at the Detroit Economic Club meeting is what their plans, what the goals will be for this season, this upcoming season that is. Hopefully, probably go the distance, probably make it to the playoffs, make it to the Super Bowls. Who knows? It's anybody's guess. For more of this meeting, go to www.econclub.org. And for our coverage of this event, go to AmericaJR.com, Detroit's #1 website.
The Lions do. Pat McGinnis, Pat, you're here somewhere. Where are you? Thank you. Pat, a lot was made of the trip I took down to Nashville to recruit Kyle Vandenbosch. One of the things that we had when he got back here was a custom-made fathead poster of him in a Lions uniform. So thanks for that.
All right, Coach, question. Can you talk about the biggest difference for you and the entire organization today compared to where you were at this point last year?
Well, it's a world of difference. It's a different team. I think a lot of people up here mentioned the excitement. I think the fans feel it. We feel it. I mean, and there's a reason that we feel it. It's because of the players we have. It's because of the commitment they've shown, and because of the things that they've done on the field. So I think optimism is eternal, and everybody's feeling good this time of year. But I think there's substance to that optimism.
Coach, what percentage of offense did you show this preseason?
I'll make up a number, 20%, 50%. I mean, I think really the heart of that question is not what percentage of our offense did we show, it's how much did we game plan for the preseason. There was nothing that we ran in a preseason game that we hadn't installed in training camp that wasn't part of our base package. What you saw a lot was base package, but what you don't see in preseason games, what you see in Chicago and Philadelphia and every game after that, are the specific ideas that we have to attack that particular defense. And those things you really don't have an opportunity to show. We don't do that in preseason. I've said before, our philosophy with preseason is that we see players win, not scheme win. We want players to have outstanding performances. We want players to show what they can do. Not interested in a scheme that another team hasn't worked on or something like that. So we have wrinkles that the fans haven't seen yet unless they've been out to Allen Park, which by the way we had such great attendance in our training camp, and it wasn't just the fact that you guys were there. The fact that you guys were there in training camp helped the players push through. It's hard to push through 2 days. It's hard to get up and get back, particularly for that afternoon practice. But when you go out for that afternoon practice and there's 3,000 people, 2,500 people out there that are cheering your name, that are cheering the plays that you make, it makes it a little bit easier to get through practice. So thanks for coming out.
Coach, along those lines, Ford Field was exciting and some even say electric. It's a two-part question. During the team's wins against Washington and Cleveland last year, along those lines, we talked about the fans in Allen Park. How big a role do they play when you take the field here?
Oh, it's huge. And like I said before, we feel responsibility to have a winning team. We feel responsibility to the city. But it's not just us. It's certainly a we, and the fans are included there. And we all need to do a good job defending. The players will feed off your excitement. It's okay to cheer for this team. It's okay to put yourself out as a fan. And I've been a fan of a lot of teams since I was a kid, and I've experienced some of the same things that people in Detroit have experienced. So many times you put yourself out as a fan and you get your heart broken. And every time that you get your heart broken, you tend to put yourself out there a little bit less. It's okay to come back. It's okay to root for this team. It's okay to cheer touchdowns and to celebrate when a player's spiking the ball or getting excited, because we're one and the same. We're going to feed off of you. You can feed off of us.
And the second part of that question is, when is Matthew Stafford getting mic'd up again?
I'm not a big fan of micing people up, and if it means that he's going to hurt his shoulder, let's say never.
A little less dramatic next time?
Well, I mean, that made great film and great video and things like that, but it didn't make one bit of difference during the game. And him having the mic on didn't cause him to get off the ground and throw a touchdown pass. It didn't cause him to do anything different in that game. I think one thing that mic'd up situation allowed people outside of our locker room a glimpse into Matt's personality and his toughness, things that we already knew about him as a football team, but maybe the city of Detroit didn't 100% know yet, and I think they do now.
Another two-parter, Coach, real quick. You've become a member of this community. I mean, you've been at Tiger games, Redwood games, Kid Rock concerts. You're kind of...
I need to stay away from Kid Rock.
I know, but you're kind of one of those heavy metal guys a little bit, but you've become part of this community. One, is that important, you think, for you? And two, how's your perceptions of Michigan and Detroit changed in the time you've been here, or have they?
I don't think my perceptions have changed. It's obviously important to be a member of the community. Sometimes it's tough to walk around, but I've said before, my goal as head coach of the Detroit Lions is that my grandkids will call Detroit home.
Perfect note to end, Coach. Thank you very much.
We're not ending yet. Delmas, where are you? Congratulations on all the awards. When you're leaving today, please don't knock over any little kids. And anybody that saw our game and saw our player introductions, Lewis was very excited to finally be back on the field for us. It was so exuberant that about 3 or 4 little kids felt the same wrath that opposing wide receivers and quarterbacks feel. So if you haven't seen it, you can find it on YouTube. Thanks. Thank you, Coach.
At this moment, it is my distinct pleasure to introduce your presiding officer for this meeting today. He is not only the executive chairman of Ford Motor Company, he plays a pretty important role with the Detroit Lions, I think. He's also my boss, the chair of the board of the Detroit Economic Club. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming Mr. Bill Ford.
Well, thank you, Beth, and welcome everyone to Ford Field. This stadium looks as good today as the day it was built. And if you think about economic development, and this is the Economic Club, I would say this stadium has more than exceeded its expectations, because we not only had the Lions playing here, we've had some great concerts, we've had the Final Four, we've had WrestleMania, we've had the Frozen Four, we've had the Super Bowl, and Jim's going to bring us the championship as well. So. This venue has been a huge boost for our city. I'm really proud of what Martin and Jim have done with this team in a short period of time. They've worked incredibly hard to get us better, and I can't wait for the season to begin, and actually, neither can our fans. I think the buzz around this team this year around this city is as loud as I've heard it in many years, and I think it's for good reason. I'd like to thank all of you, all of the fans, for sticking with us through a tough period with the team and a tough economic time in this city. So thank you to every one of you for staying with us. And as proud as I am of our team and our franchise, I'm even more proud of our players and our staff and how they give back to the community. We have an amazing Detroit Lions charities led by Tim Pendel and Kim Doverspike, who just do a wonderful job of giving back. In fact, the money raised at today's lunch is going to support the Police Athletic League and the 3,200 kids who participate in youth football. And we at the Lions are very committed to keeping kids active, keeping them playing football, and providing positive role models for them wherever we can. I'd also like to thank a very special person and a very special family, Larry Wisney and the Wisney family, for their friendship and for being part of the Lions family for many, many years. Larry and his family, I just talked about how proud I am of everything the Detroit Lions Charities does in the community. I think we all pale in comparison to Larry and the Wisney family for what they do in the community. So thank you to all of you and all